Alright, so anyways, here's what happened, right? I was on Belmont and Broadway, and this was maybe year 2001, 2002, something like that. And I get pulled over by the police, and it's me and this other guy who I've never met before, right? And they're telling us that we matched the description of two people that were involved in a robbery earlier that day, which later on when I got down to the station, I was interviewed by the detective and everything like that, and I told them that my mom could attest to the fact that I was home during the time in which they said the robbery had occurred. So she did. She came down and talked to them and everything, and then they let me out. Later on, I got a court date or whatever, and it was for maybe a month down the line. I go to court, and I'm thinking, I had a lawyer and everything at that point, and I'm thinking that it's going to be for this, supposed false robbery accusation or whatever. And instead, the cop comes and takes a stand, and this detective wasn't even anywhere on the scene. Everyone who was at the scene, at the time, like, I got pulled over, and I don't know if you know the area, but there was a Chipotle right there, and I'm up against the glass, and one squad car pulls me over, and as he's searching me, pulling everything out of my pockets and everything else like that, I look in the window and I see a bunch of lights reflecting off of the glass, right? So I turn around, there's about maybe 5 or 6 squad cars behind me, a whole bunch of cops out there, and they're all marked units, so they're all in uniformed officers. And when I go to court, this detective takes a stand, who wasn't even at the scene, and swears in the Bible and everything up and down, right? Raises his hand and says that he was walking by at the time, and said that I asked him if he wanted some crack cocaine. I don't know if you know the area, but Belmont and Broadway, there's not even a lot of, crack cocaine over there, so it was just totally ridiculous and absurd. And, at the time, I had nothing to do with any of that type of activity. And this was all news to me, because when I was arrested and taken into the station, they told me that was because I matched some description, of somebody else. So the charge ended up being dismissed, because by the time I got to court, I guess, I don't know what happened. They manipulated the paperwork or whatever, somehow, some way to say that they falsified this report and everything. Because like I said, it was news to me. No one said anything to me when I was being arrested about any kind of solicitation or crack or anything like that. But that's what they changed the charge into when I went to court. They said that it was for solicitation, for crack cocaine or whatever, and it ended up being dropped because my lawyer said, well, the detective said that I asked him if he wanted some crack, not if he wanted to buy some crack. So, asking someone if they want something or if they want to buy something are two different things. Solicitation, by definition, is asking someone, if they want, is trying to sell. So, so the charge was dismissed. But, just the whole experience was reflects their, the way the cops are in Chicago. There's not much more I could say about it. I was a pretty bad youth. At the time I was into a lot of criminal activity and stuff like that, but it had nothing to do with drugs or crack, and there wasn't any drugs or paraphernalia found on me at the time. And when I was arrested, it wasn't like I was even charged with a felony, which solicitation for crack cocaine is a felony. And so it's just, the whole thing was just really, really bizarre and ridiculous, and I've never been through anything like that before. And thank God I've changed my life now, and I'll never be going through anything like that again. But still, it's just, it's total bullshit. And I also spent some time in Cook County, and I found very, very quickly that I wasn't the only one who went through this. I'm in there with convicted offenders, repeat offenders, violent gang members, and everything else. They have no reason to lie to me on the inside walls of Cook County Jail. And about 75% of them, I know probably half of the 75% were probably lying, but what's half of 75% is like I don't know, 30. I'm not real good at math, so excuse me, but it's about 35%. So, you know, of people who are saying that the cops planted dope on them, that they set them up, and every fucking thing else. So I mean, this goes on a lot, and it's mostly has to do with racial profiling. So yeah.